Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And I'm the Gamer in Yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have The Cycle. So this is another one that was suggested to one of our friends, who actually wants me to say his name on the podcast, so...
Suggested by, not suggested to. You said suggested to one of our friends.
Oh, shit. Suggested by, yes, one of our friends. A friend of the podcast. Askiel is his moniker online. But yeah, The Cycle is by Mr.Grave on creepypasta.wiki. And I guess we'll just jump right into this one. So, as we always do.
I would hope so.
Yeah. This one is about a... it's kind of...
get the story off.
It's basically our narrator man, because we don't get a name we get a name for all of his family members except for them.
How ironic that, like, you can't really do... You don't know how to strip this rundown, and the start of the story is, how do I start this?
Yeah, that's totally planned.
Yeah, totally.
Well, you see, his name is Jeremy, not Jeremy.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Or not. I thought, like, the closest one was, like, bro, because that's what Jeremy calls him in the story. What's up, bro?
His name is Nair.
Yeah.
His name is Nair.
Or Spooky Steve.
No, but he's a Mason this time is his last name, so he's Nair Aderman as his middle name, Mason. It's a different Nair.
Okay.
Finally, a second Nair. Because he has a last name but no first name.
Yes. And yeah, he has a very eccentric, rich family. Mm-hmm. It's very sitcom-y, like Arrested Development or
other
sitcoms about dysfunctional families. Mm-hmm. Like The Shits from Schitt's Creek. It's actually an Ontario-based sitcom about a rich family who ends up moving to the town they bought like years ago after they run out of their money.
Already.
It's called Schitt's Creek because they're called the Shits. Their family name is the Shits.
Does it have like an accent on it?
It's like a Jewish name, or it's like Schwitz, like kind of thing. Yeah, it's the guy, the dad from American Pie is actually the father figure character, and also the creator of the show. So,
already.
But anyway, getting back on course.
A little bit of a tangent.
Yeah. So yeah, our narratorman has a dysfunctional family, rather rich but broken. His twin brother, Jeremy, is a bit of a black sheep and basically left the family for like 2 years, like where they couldn't find him, and then they finally spent enough money to track him down, and he was living in a cabin in the woods with like that, and basically been like living there after leaving with some buddies, some drug friends that he had, or as his family called them, cultists. Mm-hmm. Because cultists clearly are the behind like what happened. It's not just that he was a druggie, and I'm getting ahead of myself.
You are.
And then when they find him in the cabin, they don't want him, or they try to get him to leave. They even put down like $5,000 for him to like get out of there.
His dad does.
Yeah, his dad. He refuses, so he's staying there. And again, it ruptures the family a little bit more, puts more stress on it. Basically, the dad doesn't want to talk about it. The mom's like freaking out about it. And then it comes around to Neriman's and Jeremy's birthday.
19th birthday.
19th birthday, yes. And the mom suggests...
Oh, yeah, because they're twins, by the way.
Yeah, I said that.
I don't
His twin brother. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I was too busy not listening.
Cool.
Let's go, continue.
His mom suggests that Narratorman celebrate his birthday with his brother Jeremy alone, without the family. So he takes the ride out to the cabin, and goes and greets his brother. And the brother is actually excited to see him because it's been like 2 years, and like they are twins, so they were fairly close. Mm-hmm. Despite some weird, like, kind of, I guess, kind of not bipolar, but like weird, like swings that the twin would have on his brother. Like Narratorman, like he'd accuse Narratorman of like trying to eat him in the womb,
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that. But no, he's actually happy to see him, and like they go inside the cabin, and Narratorman's expecting like a really ramshackle, like horribly messy like cabin, but it's actually like really well kept, and
It's like pristine.
it's a rustic small cabin, but it's still like nice and kept and clean and stuff like that. So they drink a full bottle of wine, or at least the Narratorman does, and they try to make some kind of casserole, but it burns. So they decide to order pizza. They go back out to the woods to go get the pizza from the crossroads because it doesn't go out that far into the cabin. Mm-hmm. And on the way back, it starts raining. And on the way back, Narratorman thinks he sees two people running deeper into the woods, but he didn't really. It just like didn't get a full glance of it. They go back to the cabin. They get more shit-faced and eat pizza.
I'm assuming soggy pizza.
Yeah. Well, it's still it might be in a box, so they could like cover it somewhat from the rain and stuff like that. But yeah, they get back, and Jeremy. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. Jeremy suggests going skinny dipping at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, no, it's too cold outside. It's like fall. We're not going. I'm just going to go. And he just nods off on the couch, and then he wakes up to find that Jeremy is gone, but he left an air mattress out for him. And he then suddenly starts worrying, like, did Jeremy actually go out into the woods and go skinny dipping? And like, why would you freeze to death in like in this weather? So he goes outside to go look for he suits up, like just like mounts up basically with
Boots, pants,
like
coat,
like heavy,
flashlight.
like the camel pants and like the heavy boots and jacket and flashlight, and then goes out into the woods, which it stopped raining, so that's nice. Goes out to the path or the road where they got the pizza, and see a bunch of foot traffic, and only one set of footprints goes toward civilization, and then the rest of it like a ton of footprints go out toward
the forest anus.
Yeah, the forest's anus. Yes. And so he figures like maybe maybe Jeremy and his cult buddies are out there doing something. So he starts hiking out into the woods, and then that's when he encounters at first a pale figure, like half naked figure, comes out of the woods, and then he realizes that it's Jeremy. Mm-hmm. But he's acting really funny. Like he
doesn't have his beard anymore.
He's clean shaven. Doesn't have his, and is kind of in a manic kind of state. He's got like a weird burn mark on the is coming down from his back. It's in the story.
Okay. Yeah. I must have read over that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's actually kind of key to what happens later, or to something that happens later. But anyways, so Narratorman's trying to like help his brother, but like Jeremy's just like, no, fuck that, and runs back into the woods. So he has to go chasing his brother. Oh no, he's going to give him the jacket. And then he takes
his jacket off and to give it to him.
Yeah.
And then
Jeremy like punches him or something. Yeah, punches him. Yep. And then when he gets back up off the ground, Jeremy's running in the woods with his jacket. And so he's got to go find him. So he goes running through, and it's just like a long, like tedious run through the woods. Like his boots are getting like covered in mud, so they're basically being cemented. And he eventually finds a bonfire where Jeremy. Okay, I'm not. We were both looking at like Mikey's just like staring at the
window.
He's just staring, but envisioning the scene as I'm narrating it.
You're painting such a colorful picture.
I apparently am. Jeremy's at the bonfire, and Narratorman tries to tries to approach his twin, but then they get into a scuffle, and at some point, Narratorman gets partially into the fire, or gets in close to the fire and gets burned on the back. So he has to pull out, but he knocks his twin down, throws his shirt off so he doesn't get burned any further, removes his shoes because they're too much of a burden, and that's when he gets the upper hand in the combat and manages to pin down his twin and just basically just smashes him to death in the head, and basically kills not Jeremy. Because this Jeremy is acting weird. It can't be his normal. It can't be his usual brother. And then he stumbles.
Well, because he saw that there was no tattoo on him.
Yeah, sorry. That was the differentiating factor. Mm-hmm. Not just the shaved face, but also the fact that he has no tattoo. Mm-hmm. That was mentioned when they were shit faced. That we forgot to neglect, or we neglected to add.
I like how you say "we."
I neglected to add. Are you welcome? Yeah. Thank you.
I am welcome.
Leave me alone. All right. So, half naked, burned, and in a weird
bludgeoned to death.
Yeah, bludgeoned to death partially. No.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were
not Narratorman. Wanders back out into the woods toward the road, and he gets stopped by somebody with a flashlight. And then that's when he blacks out. And then when he comes to, is it Jeremy that has saved him, or is he at the police station already?
It happens really quickly.
Yeah.
It's literally a paragraph. Yeah, all I know is that the police found me laying just outside the forest.
Yeah. And then they go, they find, Jeremy's fine. Apparently he was just he went out for a few minutes or something like that.
Well, he went skinny dipping, like he said he would.
Oh, he did actually go skinny dipping?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
This year, the next paragraph is Jeremy had indeed gone skinny dipping.
Okay. And they go to the police station to get their statements about what happened and stuff. The police never find the body. And the dad bails them out, or comes and picks them up from the police station. And that's kind of how the story ends, right? Just basically ends with him not sure what happened that night, other than it was a really weird experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he asked Jeremy about the guy with the flashlight. He has no idea, and apparently he was in the vicinity at the time and heard me calling his name. I couldn't remember that little detail, but then again, he was fucked up at that point because of the wine.
And that's basically where it ends. Was that all a dream, or was that some weird actually, did that actually happen to Narratorman kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Or basically, or did he just wander off into the woods super tired and super drunk, and just basically sleepwalk and experience that all
punching air? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Or and hitting trees and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. So, that was the cycle. So we're going to start off with, as we usually do, everyone expects the Grammar Inquisitions at this point. Alright, so... I mean, I wasn't the most famous kid in school, and I still am not. But unlike my twin, I actually had a couple of friends I could hang out with. So... the thing I have with the sentence is I don't know if it'd go better if it was instead of I still am not, or if it's I'm still not, just contraction between I am, make it I'm still not, because it's I still am not. This to me it's never
still not.
No, but I am still not is not what it says. It says.
I know. I'm just saying, another way to use it with the same word.
Yeah, it's that word is in a
weird spot.
In a weird spot, yeah.
It's how the character talks.
That was quick.
Wow,
really quick.
Yeah, all right. Just rip up my notes now. Fair, but no, it's wrong. And then the next one I have. He once accused me for his shitty behavior, claiming I attempted to eat him while on the womb, only to later shrug it off as a joke. think that you mean in the womb. You're not on the womb.
That'd be weird.
Well, he might have gotten out, and then she
He
had them in
threw
both
it.
arms,
Oh.
and then he started trying to eat his brother while in the mother's
Directly
arms.
over top of the womb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
But no.
It's in the room. And my next one. I came into his room, shuffled through his disarranged Green Day posters to find out a little envelope. The letters inside detailed his escape from, and I quote, the recurring madness lurking from the Mason spot. It's supposed to maybe just remove out when it comes to when he's looking through his disarranged Green Day posters to find a little envelope, not find out a little envelope.
Yeah.
The next one?
Or find out in a little envelope that it says this.
Yeah, exactly,
It's missing something.
Yeah, or doesn't really need to be there.
Yes, that too.
My next one is, I have yet to decipher the meaning of that message, but I went on to presume he was referring to Robert's reprimands. So, points for alliteration at the end there, like Robert's reprimands. But I feel that the dad should still be referred to thusly, like as your dad, not as Robert.
No, I thought that too, but not everyone does that.
That's true, yeah.
Someone in my clan for Warframe, Sebastian Dix. That's his gamer tag.
Are we okay with having on the show, have that mentioned on the show?
His name's Sebastian
Dix.
He just refers to his mom as Trish,
Okay.
because that's her name.
Yeah.
So not everyone.
No, I guess that's
Does
fair.
that.
That's fair. Yeah. But again, points for alliteration there with Robert's reprimands at the end.
Robert's ridiculous reprimand.
Oh yeah, triple R better than triple K. I'll just shut that.
Everything's better than Triple K.
That's what
Literally everything.
Triple H is better than triple K.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. Next one is he was a DA, so money were not a problem for him. For any of us, actually. So I stumbled over the error there, but yeah, it's supposed to be so money was not an issue
Instead of we're not a problem.
Yeah, we're not a problem. And then on to the next one. Now that I am finally done explaining this strained family relationship, thank God.
Wow. You absolute scumbag.
Yes. You can only imagine how hard my mom's decision that I should celebrate my 19th birthday with Jeremy struck me. I think this could be made a little bit more clear of a sentence if you did it like this. Now that I'm finally done explaining this strained family relationship, you can imagine how hard it struck me that my mom decided I should celebrate my 19th birthday with Jeremy alone.
Yes.
It's just the way it was originally. I was like he's trying to insert a separate sentence in the sentence, he's trying to combine two sentences in a really weird way.
It almost sounded like struck him was at the end, so it was almost talking like his mom was about to smack him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
My next one. By the way, I have 2 pages, folks, so you're in for a ride of grammar positions.
Go ahead and make a coffee or something.
Yeah. I stood by the wooden front door, letting a soft sigh before tapping into it twice. So first off, I think it's supposed to be letting out a soft sigh.
Or letting a soft sigh out.
Yeah, exactly. Also, tapping into it twice, tapping into the wood door. Is the wood door soggy or enveloping his hand? I'm pretty sure you just need to remove into,
Or onto.
tapping it twice or
Onto.
yeah, maybe
Onto the
onto. Yeah. Again, the word is not the right one that's being used. Mm-hmm. That's what we're getting at. Surely it was my brother who I hadn't seen since 2 years and a half. I know it's the way the character would talk, but I usually see when when it comes to 2 years and a half, I usually see it done 2.5 years.
Yep.
not 2 years and a half. It just it's just maybe it's the way the writer is their dialect is.
It's like a regional dialect situation.
Yeah, I think but I've never heard that, but it could be a thing.
Yeah, it does half month, half cow, half moon.
Yes.
2 years and a half what?
Yeah, and a half what?
Yeah.
And a half month. The neckbeard he was sporting rendered him unrecognizable, but not enough for me to not be able to make out his pale, freckly, cocaine-induced face. So maybe nigh unrecognizable. Wait, what? Cocaine-induced face? What does that even mean? I guess it might mean that he's got a druggies complexion or something like that. But when I first read that story, that part, I was starting to okay, it wouldn't be unrecognizable because and then you say but you can see what his face looks like. But then you say cocaine-induced face. He's just really pasty, maybe?
He just looks like a cocaine addict, I guess.
I guess.
That's just the way he always looked.
It's how the character looks.
It is, actually.
No, I've added to it.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, it's just so odd, the description for...
Cocaine just got dropped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I think it might mean that, he's got a druggies complexion. I just I fumbled over that after in my head. I was just trying to visualize that. Looking at his expressionless face, I felt like one of those Jehovah's Witnesses that is unwanted, but his grimace didn't last long. I'd put a period after witnesses. Not really run on as a sentence. Just felt like it needs a break halfway there.
So I don't know why I thought it. When he said his grimace didn't last long, I thought
the grimace.
He had grimace from freaking McDonald's in the back. He was in the process of murdering him.
Oh god! And he's still grimacing.
Of course, because grimace would always grimace.
Yeah, it's actually he just can't, he's just stuck in that face. He can't actually
Well, it's literally a mascot mask. He can't help it.
He's just killing the mascot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what he does.
But yeah, just add a period break there. Look at his expressionless face. I felt like one of those Jehovah's Witnesses. Period. That is unwanted, but his grimace didn't last long, kind of thing.
I would disagree.
Yeah,
because it continues on talking about the exact same thing in the next sentence. Because that is unwanted is referring to him at being like a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, that's true.
Or it should be saying I felt maybe, I was unwanted there like a Jehovah's Witness, period.
Yeah, and then, or maybe have the period after unwanted and then remove the but. So then it's just his grimace didn't last long. It's a very short sentence, but for narrative effect.
Well, what continues after that? It could be
I don't have it.
His grimace didn't last long because he smiled and hugged me or whatever.
Yeah, actually, I think that's actually exactly what it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It could be continued.
Yeah. And then my next one is, we resumed our conversation there, now twice as soaked and under the effects of Vine. Computer Vine? The computer website?
Wow.
No, I know
you scumbag.
No. Sorry for dredging up that poor memory. No. But yeah, no, it's wine.
No. The Vine has taken over in effect. All hail Vine.
Okay.
You're going to have to elaborate or you'll be laughing by yourself.
Yes. Sorry.
Well, it's the effect of Vine.
That's not elaborating, that's reiterating.
Yeah.
Already then.
Cool.
Suddenly there's a Vine there.
Oh, so
and they're under its effects.
Okay. So apparently they're now being... So the monster, the weird supernatural element is plant-based.
It's a cordyceps situation.
Or it's a Gardenelle. The cabinet... So a Gardenelle is an Appalachian folklore monster that assumes the outer shell of a cabin, but is a giant vine-like monstrosity, like a sarlacc pit, inside. So as soon as you walk in, it would basically wait for travelers who are lost in the woods. They find, oh, there's a cabin. Sweet, I'll go into the cabin. And then they walk into the cabin and they're home. They get eaten by the group.
But it's not like
No,
that.
it isn't at all.
Unless it's putting up a facade even more.
It's like the Die House.
Exactly.
Where, like, it's in the walls and, like, stuff like that, yeah. My God, the Die House continues.
But
First with Maple Street Drive, now in the woods.
I keep mixing that up with No Endos.
Yeah.
But I agree, it is supposed to be wine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely supposed to be wine there.
Oh, no, I thought that was, like, essentially, like, it's using vine as another word for wine.
I Googled it, like, to see if wine had, like, a slang or something like that for vine. There is no slang for wine. It's called the vine.
Or he's already drunk.
So there's like, vine.
Yes.
The way the character talks while he's drunk.
Yes.
You guys.
For the rest of the
You guys
story,
so much.
all of your grammar positions mean nothing. He's drunk for the rest of it.
I don't care. We're doing it.
Alright, go ahead.
I've got these. I printed this off. All right.
Alright.
You having fun, audience?
I hope so. It's at his
I
expense.
really do hope so, because I hope this is as funny as I am making it to be. All right, an air mattress in the floor. It's supposed to be on the floor. That's my take on that.
I don't know how you can. I didn't catch any of
I
this.
caught a ton, and I got part of it. I'll continue. With that in mind, I began marching to the forest. I feel like that should be, I began marching into the forest, because you're marching into the woods, kind of thing. Like, you're already in the woods. Like, he's already technically in the woods.
So he doesn't have to go to there, because he's already there.
He's deeper into the woods.
But he's in the cabin, isn't he?
No, he's, at this point, he's, like, on that crossroads.
Okay.
But he's surrounded by the forest.
So it's the option is going to the forest or to civilization.
I guess, but...
The better way, it should have said, I marched to the anus.
Yes.
Because he specifically name-dropped the forest anus.
Yes, exactly.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Moving right along. He was either pulling me an elaborate prank, or his skinny dipping session went real awry. I feel like maybe removing the me from that first part of the sentence, like, he was either pulling an elaborate prank.
Pulling
me an elaborate prank.
Pulling an elaborate prank for me.
Yeah, on me.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my next one is, I rapidly scampered out of the ground. Yeah, I rapidly scampered out of the ground, searching for my jacket, but to no avail.
When did he get married?
Off the ground. You scampered off the ground, or remove out of and just put off the ground. This story has a lot of little typos.
Hey man, he was sinking into it. Maybe he found some quicksand.
I guess, the mud was rather, like, thick. So perhaps he actually is. Yeah, all right. I'll give that one a slight pass.
No.
However, no.
Not really.
And then my next, it just kind of like, at this point I was kind of aggravated, as I was like I was not aggravated, like I didn't hate the story for this, like, specifically, but I was like, yeah, it's like I was like noting how many times I was like putting it like correcting little like errors like that, and then we get to this part. Still holding out hope that he'll come back to his senses and escort me out of this goddamn maze. He'd, not he'll. Now we have a tense issue.
He will. He did. It's essentially saying
that he'd come back, like as it is he'll come back, as in he will come back.
Would.
But he's
Or he
thinking,
would come- yeah, he-
that's
he would
his
come
thought
back,
in
yeah.
the moment. Thinking that I hope he will come to his senses, because in the moment he's thinking in the future.
Yeah, but the rest of the story is done past tense.
But that thought is done in the moment.
I guess. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, you're not
I don't
entirely
have
wrong.
it up right now, but
No, you're not entirely wrong. It is basically like he is, at that moment, he is like thinking that and hoping that. I just really don't like when they cross tenses.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one where on should have been added. At this point, I had seen enough odd stuff, so I didn't even begin to question how the ashes weren't spreading around and lighting the surrounding trees in fire. On fire! Also,
it's not a word. It's not a word. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Also, just a quick run through of editing isn't that hard. Like, I'm basically doing it for the story.
Yeah.
I've basically been doing it for this entire, like, story. And then the last grammar position I have, he kept fumbling and falling face first on the mud. Okay, now it needs to be an in.
Really?
And that is my grammar positions. But there's so many little tight. Like I don't. At that point, I will preface it. I will postface this because I can't preface it.
Yeah.
I didn't. It didn't ruin the story for me. Like I still read the story and enjoyed it and understood it. But man, there's a lot. Like a quick run through of editing, like giving to a friend or somebody, or like taking a couple of days and like going back to the story. You would have caught all those errors. And even easily fix them.
I kind of hope with some of these stories, the authors get linked to our podcast, and they at least do the editing on it after the fact. At least the ones they agree with us on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're not saying no, you have to fix this.
This is law. Everything we say.
Yeah, no, we're not saying that at all.
These are just suggestions.
Just
to
exactly.
Make it flow better.
These are our opinions and our suggestions. Take them as you will. But yeah, I kind of do wish. I kind of hope that somebody and actually some people have. Like some authors have like spotted our podcast and at least taken like some of the grammar stuff to heart. So
good.
Yeah. Mikey, what do you got for grammar? Because speaking of grammar stuff.
All right. So my first one is when he's talking about Jeremy leaving, and says immediately after he found out of his takeoff, my dad went on the move.
Immediately after he found out about him leaving, essentially, is what it's saying.
Yeah, but
his takeoff.
Because
he took off.
Because he and his is the
vertically
rocketed away.
Because we don't get the dad until the end of the sentence. So in my mind, he and his were both Jeremy.
Oh.
So immediately after Jeremy found out about Jeremy's taking off, my dad went on the move.
Well, apparently there's two Jeremys, except there isn't two Jeremys. But apparently it's not Jeremy found out about Jeremy.
Oh yeah, he's talking to not Jeremy this whole time.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
So much. Anyway, and I have a front butt here.
I would hope so.
And
this is a creepypasta after all.
Looking at it, it's how the character talks, but I'm going to talk about it anyway.
Okay, good.
If there was something we never complained about, that would be money. But I digress.
That's how you... Should that be commented out?
Well...
that is how you say it in dialect, like when you're talking. Dialogue.
But the thing is, like, you could easily just... You're supposed to have it in the same sentence, not suddenly it's its own sentences, but I digress. So, yeah, and it is technically a dialogue thing, so, yeah.
How the character talks.
I need to say that every single time.
Yes, I do.
Alright,
really?
So, this next part I had some issue with. Dad went first in a pathetic attempt to convince my brother to come back.
I thought his name was Robert. Does it refer to him as Robert?
They refer to him as Robert and Dad constantly through the story.
Okay. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, sorry.
I'll begin again.
I would hope so.
Okay. Dad went first in a pathetic attempt to convince my brother to come back. The latter didn't budge, and the whole argument closed with my dad placing $5,000 on the table and then quietly leaving the place.
Yeah, I never know that as well.
Yeah, the issue is the ladder. Because usually when...
Yeah, it's a staircase you get up to a house, not a ladder. Funny joke. I know, it's ladder.
Yeah. But the issue is that usually when you say the former or the latter, there's two distinct things that you're talking about.
Dad and Jeremy.
But you're talking about doing things, not people. Like, I'm going to go up the stairs, I'm going to go down the stairs.
I feel like you could use that for people as well. It does not have to be for objects.
I'm trying to find my note on that because I had a problem with that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I'm just going to reread it. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. I don't, like, disagree. Like, I don't, like, entirely agree with...
Well, but usually there's two instances. Like, he's trying to convince my brother to come back. The latter didn't happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's saying. It's like saying, my dad did this, and the second thing didn't happen.
Like, it's like, you can stay here or you can come with me now. The latter didn't happen, or, like, the latter didn't happen.
Yeah, but if that's what it's meant, but it didn't say that.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, though, yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just saying, he went in a pathetic attempt to convince him to come back, and then...
The latter didn't happen.
The latter didn't budge, whatever that meant.
Yeah. Oh no, because the latter didn't budge because they're the latter and the former, like they're talking about like the people, not the whole like leaving thing. Like they're talking about
this entire thing is about the dad going there to convince Jeremy to leave.
Yeah,
that's his one thing he's going there for.
Yeah,
and they're saying the latter didn't budge
because they're referring to the latter as the people, like the Jeremy, like because they referenced the dad going to Jeremy, and then the latter didn't budge, as in Jeremy didn't budge. Like, on the subject of of leaving.
Okay, but the problem is he has a name. Well, just say Jeremy if that's the point.
Yeah.
Or they could be like, my dad and Jeremy were talking, and the latter wouldn't budge. Saying that Jeremy wouldn't budge. In that situation, it makes more sense.
I guess.
Or like, they're both putting their arguments out, and one of them wouldn't budge, but neither of them are budging, because that's why nothing happened.
I mean, one of them budges, he just, like, gives up. Technically, the dad gives up.
Kind of, yeah. Either way, it's oddly placed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, next I have a front so at the beginning of a paragraph.
That's going to be amazing for radio.
Especially because we're not on the radio.
Yeah, or on a podcast. It's Next Wave Radio. Moving right along.
He decided that his birthday wasn't going to be about me, but rather about my not-so-beloved sibling. So I took off.
See, I know what? I had the exact same issue, and then you read a little bit further, and you realize he just, like, it's not so much like, so I took off, like... No, it's just like, so I took off, like, so I seceded, or I went along with like what they were planning, where I packed my things and just went to Jeremy's. It's basically it's not but when you first read it, it's like, so I took off. I went the route of Jeremy and just ran away from home. I was like, I thought it was basically going to be like, is this story just going to bring like both brothers run away?
Yeah,
but no, he packs his stuff and like he goes, and then like it's not until you read the rest of it, and then you're like, oh, he's basically just he's condemned. He's what is it? He's concluded that he is stuck in this situation, so he's just dealing with it.
It's just one of those sentences where if you stop short, it's completely different.
Yeah, it's like, I shot him.
Bang.
A look.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that needs to be a t-shirt. It's like, I shot him. Bang. And on the back, a look. Oh. And it's just like a character, like, the character's just like, oh. Like looking down at the bottom. Yeah. I kind of want to do that now.
You really want to make t-shirts, don't you?
I do. Just like on the front, have like I shot him, bang, and then on the back, like have like you and me or something, or you and or like somebody and somebody, just like in our title card style, and then just like, I shot him, bang, and then on the back it's like a look, and just the guy looking over the corpse, like oh,
whoops.
All right, so I think there's another in-on situation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you missed one, did you?
Yeah. Jeremy, in the other hand, all he lacked were the yellow buck teeth and a pair of testicles dangling out of his ripped jeans, and he could easily fit in the typical profile of a Hollywood redneck.
Yeah.
On the other hand.
God.
Wow.
It's in and on is like seems to be like the problem with the story.
Yeah.
And then we have a front butt situation, which really doesn't need to be there. But
no front butts are meant to be there.
Mm-hmm. My expectations were a dusty, disorganized living room, a kitchen in the verge of collapsing, and a toilet
On the verge of collapse. Is that another one you missed too?
Just envision, audience at home, just envision that Revenge of the Nerds scene where the jock is just like, nerds! Just like words! Words!
Nice.
Yes. Alright, so a kitchen on the verge of collapsing, and a toilet at the far corner which would also serve as a meth lab. But no, the interior of Jeremy's house bore less resemblance to a crack den and more to those cool places in Christmas adverts.
What would you replace that with?
No. Just no.
Well, just instead, the interior.
Yeah. Actually, that would work.
Let's recovery. Mm-hmm. Hope that picks up as we're going.
I'm sure it does.
Alright.
I was like, this episode brought to you by Grammar Requisitions.
Pretty much, yeah.
Round of editing, folks. It's a thing that can help your story.
I shrugged and just dove into the couch while he made his way...
He dove into the couch. Into the couch. But 10. Yeah. It's like the change.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. See what I mean, though?
Like every single one.
Every single one is either an in and on situation.
It's like they mixed up the meanings of each.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so dove into the couch while he made his way into the kitchen, pulling...
Onto the... No.
Pulling a glass bottle of wine, removing the tap, and then handing it over to me. It should either be top or cork.
Yeah. Mm. So so basically they just like forgot they maybe accidentally hit the A button instead of the O button.
Which is across the way on the keyboard. Literally the complete opposite. Yeah. All correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Turns out half our creepypastas that we discuss on the show are just typed on phones, so they auto-correct.
There's autocorrect on freaking...
I know, that's true, yeah.
Actual PC-related things, too.
Alright, and then I have another front butt. Catching up to my hysterical brother was quite an easy task. His stoned ass couldn't make out 2 steps without tumbling into the ground.
Tumbles, just sinks into the ground. Wow.
You see my frustration?
I didn't catch any of these. I caught on the womb, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Your body, you Taiwanese for the rest of the story.
I really did, yeah. My Taiwanese is very strong.
When did you start reading the story?
Early yesterday.
Okay, so wasn't late last night?
No.
Okay.
I was I was listening to the Princess recording.
Oh, right.
For ADR R.
ADR Rev?
Yeah.
Anyway, continuing on.
Sorry.
Tumbling into the ground. But instead of slapping him back to consciousness, something in my mind told me to follow him instead, certain that if I do, there will be a bombastic revelation awaiting in the end.
What a revelation!
So, also would be. There would be, not there will be. That's past present tense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I award you no points. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Alright.
You're talking to the author, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
You're the one getting most angry.
I'm also using a joke line from a comedy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and here's another in-on, potentially.
Oh no. Prepare yourself, Evans.
I tried to resist, but the fire still caught up and burned a chunk of skin in my back.
Yeah, that's a weird situation.
It's on your back.
Hey, you could have skin.
It got in your back. Yeah, no, that's flesh.
It's different layer. It's like third degree burn.
That's musculature then.
No, if it's like a third degree, it's like burning the bottom layer of skin. No. It's on.
Alright, and then I have a front end. This is nearing the end, so I'm almost done.
Thank God. I mean, no, please continue.
We are 50 minutes in.
50?
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, mind you, there will be some editing, of course. But yeah, we are at 49 minutes and 51 seconds.
He had all the reasons to, and then I blacked out.
Is he had all the reasons to one entire sentence?
Yes.
So they could just be connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then my last grammar inquisition
Yay!
is a front butt that's actually on the final sentence. I couldn't remember that little detail, but then again, I was fucked up at that point.
Yeah.
So again, those could just be continued. Connected, rather.
Yeah, honestly, that could have just been one word. Or one sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, no spaces in between any of it, no punctuation.
Yeah.
One word.
One word to rule the ball.
One word to find them. And in the darkness, bind them. Anyway, Gamer in Yellow, what do you got?
Alright.
Nothing?
Well, exactly how it starts. I don't know how to start this. I'm not good at segueing between paragraphs, so bear with me. You're not getting a free ride, sir. That's actually my note that I wrote down for that. I don't know if that's the character saying this or the author, but there's only a couple of ways to improve, and one way is to hear about how you improve from others. So
that is the character talking, I assume, but
you never know. Yeah. That being said, the transitions between paragraphs weren't that bad. It was really all this weird spelling situation.
Yeah, it was really,
that was the problem.
My one gripe with this entire story, and it's not that bad, is just it has a lot of really tiny typos, and they can easily be fixed. Like the story otherwise isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. So like this first section almost isn't necessary because there's no problem segueing.
The thing with the segue, or the thing with the to me, I saw that less of like the person like trying to excuse themselves from like issues and stuff like that, and more just like it's a character like personality thing.
The way the character talks.
Exactly. No.
It actually
fits in this sense because like it is actually like we're getting a glimpse into the character's personality through their writing.
Yeah, like the character isn't comfortable with writing.
Exactly,
so if there's any problems, then that's why.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then fine, I'm telling this to the character.
Yeah.
And also, I've never actually seen the word segue wrote out.
I know, right? It's
I thought it was like the actual scooter.
No.
So that's cool. I learned a thing.
So that's cute.
That's pretty neat. Actually, speaking of, I might as well go into this. Oh crap! I didn't write down the quote for it. It's another word that I learned. Precocious.
Really?
I've never heard precocious before.
So precocious.
It's having developed certain abilities or whatever. Certain abilities at an earlier age than usual. Certain abilities or big word at an earlier...
Wow. You really almost went by... So
proclivities?
You almost pulled my sister.
Uh-huh.
My sister, like a couple of years back, I think around the time like the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out.
Yeah.
One of the characters said fortuitous, and she had no idea what that meant. Mm-hmm. It's like, really? Fortuitous. How fortunate.
There's a large possibility that you could run your entire life without hearing a single weird word.
I know, it's just really weird though, when like, I don't know, it just seems like it's pretty easy, even if you haven't heard like it before, it's pretty easy to figure out what that means.
Because of Fortu?
Yeah.
But they could be talking about Fortuna.
No, because not everybody plays Warframe.
You liar. You lying sack of shit, everyone does.
Just like jump over the table and kill me.
I will kill you.
Or literally Fortuna.
Yeah, people that are like totally Fortuna. Like, what do you want to have for lunch today?
I'm totally Fortuna.
Yeah.
God damn.
Then it would be Fortuna.
Alright, continue on.
Alright, fine. I think I only have one more grammar related things.
We have basically spotlighted that for a while.
Yes. honestly, like, I only had 4, and you got 2 of mine with both of you guys talking, so that's cool. I desperately tried to catch up yet again, but my boots were made twice as heavy by the dirt sticking down like peanut butter. It should be mud sticking down, because dirt doesn't stick.
Yeah,
mud
exactly.
does.
But dirt is just wet dirt.
When dirt is
Combined
wet,
with water.
actually
no.
becomes mud.
The thing is,
so
dirt is separate from mud because dirt is mud sans water. Mud is dirt, water together.
Wow. Bringing all the stops this episode, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Alright. So, becomes a different thing.
So you're wrong.
He accepts it. Okay, that's good. Yeah. So, moving on.
All right. So you're done.
Yes, I only had 4.
All right. Let's go away from the Inquisition.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of bloody in there. Onto the actual plots. I made my second and most devastating mistake while making my way into that godforsaken place. From there, I could see a shady, pale figure coming out of the trees. At first, I couldn't determine whether it was a woman or a man, until I threw my flashlight at it. Sorry.
Does it say through it?
Yeah, until I threw. I just noticed that now. This ruins how creepy the scene was. Damn it. Okay, so anyways, sorry. Okay, going back for a second. It was a man, shirtless, barefoot, and freezing. He was sporting a pair of pants. I couldn't make out the brand because they were dripping in mud and because it was so dark. So this did have a good creepy vibe to me when I first read it because I didn't see I threw a flashlight at it as him throwing a flashlight, but because the whole like pale-faced figure looming out of the shadows is always a good image when it comes to like something out of the spooky forest.
I have a note on this as well.
Yeah.
And mine's the complete opposite of what you said.
Really?
Because what the hell are you trying to find the brand of his pants for?
Okay.
You're looking for your brother.
Okay, sorry, yeah. The first part was kind of good, like with like the creepy like pale figure, and then he went into too much detail to like much like on like what he was doing. Like I couldn't make out the brand on the pants.
Yeah, like for all the times that he keeps saying I'm not like those bleh. For all those times that he keeps saying I'm not like one of those spoiled rich kids and all that, he's sure acting like the stereotypical ones. Like, who are you? Oh, I don't know if I can talk to you. What brand are your pants? No.
Yeah. Or like take that scene. Like, so again, I thought it was creepy when I first read it. A little bit less so now. But like, especially
now that's bracketed by throwing a flashlight and brand accusation.
Like, okay, I can't even talk to you. Or it's like, oh my god, creepy! Just throws the flashlight at him.
Yeah.
Like that's like no, that needs to be phrased differently. It's like shown the flashlight at it.
Yeah,
because that way it's like you're shining the flashlight. You're not throwing the flashlight at him through the flashlight. Like that's like.
Yeah, it's just a shame that reveal is bracketed by someone that's both.
Yeah, because otherwise it is a pretty good creepy scene. Like, because again, like a pale, creepy figure, like humanoid figure coming out of the woods is always fucking creepy. In like when you're like if you're in the woods or like in a movie or in like a story and stuff like that. And then they add the little goofiness.
I feel like that entire description is bracketed with brackets that are done in Comic Sans, but everything else is normal.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's just weird.
And then my next one, I tried to reason with him, tried to make it clear that I wasn't there to hurt him, but my mouth was nearly sealed shut. I remember Jeremy trying to land a punch, which I easily blocked with my face. Hang on.
You've read this before. It's not a shock. Come on.
Which I easily blocked with my face. We were both tired and getting sloppy as we each wasted our breath. Okay, that made me laugh a little bit. When I first read it, it's like, I'll block it with my face. Like,
Your foot to my face technique.
This is not like this is actually not even like a slight toward the story. I actually really enjoyed this.
Yeah, totally.
This is in a good way.
Yeah.
Like this isn't. This isn't like a.
I threw my flashlight.
This was actually a really fun like scene to read, and it kind of breaks. It kind of breaks a little bit of the tension.
But do you want that?
Yes, I want the story to be fun.
That's
this story. I feel should be fun. All right.
No, with the face. I was like, I blocked it with my face.
Yeah. It's like straight up Kung Pao.
Yeah, no.
Your foot to my face technique.
All right. On to the next one. I was dumbfounded, and not Jeremy used that to his advantage as he pushed me aside and tried to throw me into the fire. I tried to resist, but the fire still caught up and burned a chunk of skin in my back. Okay, and this right here is when I realized that the narratorman was in fact a double of himself, and not Jeremy, was actually just him. Getting into this earlier, there is mention that not Jeremy has a red wound-like mark coming over his shoulder from his back. Then narratorman gets put in the fire, and like he has a giant red burn mark over his back and down.
It doesn't say it goes up his shoulder.
It's coming from his back, therefore it's that mark. Also, not Jeremy doesn't have a tattoo. Presumably, like narrator.
Oh, and they're twins. That's why they look similar.
Yeah, and he cleans. Jeremy is neckbearded, whereas not Jeremy is not, presumably like narratorman. So that for me was the big signifier. Actually, when I found it, like he got burned as well. I was like, oh, like the wound that the other guy had, or like not Jeremy had earlier.
So is it a Cthulhu trailer situation? Like that Cthulhu trailer game? Where it's like a cycle?
Yeah, it's a
cycle.
It's a time cycle, basically. Or you're stuck in a time loop, or somehow. Hang on. And to me, actually, I thought it was a really decent little revelation, because as soon as it hit, all the other little hints started popping up, from previous. Like, him looking at when they're going to get the pizza, they see two figures running deeper into the woods.
That's them.
That's Jeremy and that's narratorman and actual Jeremy. Yeah. Or no, an actual no. Well, that's the other thing. I'm not entirely sure if is that two narratormans? Like, is that narratorman and then not Jeremy narratorman running into the woods, or is that narratorman and Jeremy getting their pizza just farther down the road? Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, it's an interesting thing to take for the whole And now we know, it kind of makes sense. Now we know why this is called The Cycle, because it's...
I honestly just found it.
I figured that was the case when you...
Because I was going to bring up what the fuck is it called The Cycle for. It's just...
So you gotta tell us, was that a bombastic revelation?
Sure, why not?
Way to steal the thunder there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no...
What a revelation!
As you fall back. All right. And my final thought before we go into actual final thoughts. The last of my actual thoughts before we go into final thoughts.
Okay, there you go.
I couldn't remember the little details, but then again, I was fucked up at this point. So either there was a weird time distortion anomaly looping narratorman in that crazy scenario in the woods, or it was all just a fever dream and he drunkenly slept and walked through the forest until falling over and being found. I like it. It's got a good weird ending that could go either way, and for me, doesn't hit you with the truly out there revelation till close to the end, and then everything starts clicking. Mm-hmm. So for me, I really liked that, how the story kind of panned out in that, it had this weird situation, and then we kind of get the revelation that makes all of it click. So, and again, it has both a supernatural kind of explanation, but it doesn't, it leaves a little bit of room for a mundane situation, a mundane rationalization for it.
Yeah, for example, because I didn't that didn't click with me. I assumed he just got shit-faced and that's what happened, and that's the story.
But no, apparently, like it could have been that, like, there was some weird time anomaly and, like, he got looped.
Yeah. Because, like, there are mundane creepypastas where there's nothing creepy going on, and it's just the creepiness of people themselves.
Yeah.
Where, like, if you get shit-faced, you could straight up murder someone, and...
Yeah, or like you're basically like the story. We have stories where like it plays on the person's perception as we're reading it. So like we're not. So the narrator is unreliable. So yeah, it's like they think they're killing a monster, but then they're really just shit faced and killing a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mikey, on to your initial thoughts.
All right. So my first one here that hasn't been touched on. I'm not trying to come off as one of those spoiled rich kids.
Oh, really, Mr. Pants?
Oh god, weirdo! Throws that.
Yeah.
But by the end of my mini journey, I was exhausted. Because he had a 15-minute jog after his 1 hour drive. And it's like, well, if you're not used to jogging, you'll be exhausted.
My question is, why did he walk? He wasn't in a rush.
I
just walked.
Yeah.
I can understand if it had been added, like, something had been added, like, I could see the storm coming.
Yeah.
But that's not mentioned. So, like, no, he could have just walked.
Yeah.
Like, there's no real reason to have.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm on your side this time. That's weird, I know. We're trapped in a time loop right now. I'm actually you, Mikey. I thought you looked more like a Starfield today.
Alright, next one is... I lingered around, curious to know what they were doing, but the rain was getting heavier to the point where I couldn't see anything past my nose.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a more dire problem than anything in the story. Like, if you can't see, like, farther, like anything before your nose, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're caught in a monsoon.
He looks up and he drowns.
That's not rain. That's like somebody, like, that's actually not a rainstorm. It's actually just a fire plane going over and just dousing the entire forest in water because a forest fire's on its way.
Yep. Oh, there was that campfire in the middle of the forest. There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's
it's just a gross exaggeration.
Yes.
And you can clearly see 10 feet in front of him.
Yeah. Again, rich white kid. Or, well, I'm not sure if he's a white kid, but a rich, spoiled kid.
He's rich, probably. Yeah. He's a wimp, so probably.
Alright. Next one here. All I remember is that, and giving my brother a bong as a gift which provoked a stream of laughter by his side. And I was like, did the table just laugh?
Oh god, it's a mimic!
No, he just has like a mouth in the side of his body. Yeah,
this is actually the same character from what the hell is it? It bleeds, it breeds, it breeds?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
So I wrote this next one down initially because I didn't realize that he threw the flashlight earlier. So I assumed that he still had it. So I was...
Did he actually throw it?
No, I think it's supposed to be that he, like, threw the light on it. Like, not threw the flashlight.
Okay.
Yeah. So the sentence is, I tried to go back, but the dense terrain, coupled with the lack of illumination, made it hard for me to distinguish anything. And I was like, you have a flashlight.
If he doesn't.
He didn't actually throw it.
I know, he didn't actually, but, like... Apparently he doesn't. Apparently that is canon, though.
Maybe he actually did throw it. And that's why the not Jeremy ran up and punched him.
Clearly, yeah.
You threw a flashlight at me, you asshole. What's wrong with you?
How dare you, sir?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, in the... Okay, so the end for me, I got the revelation when the guy shone the flashlight at him and then blacked out.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's how it took you that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's like the last point where you don't trigger.
Yeah.
And that is okay. That's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when I was like, oh, and that's the
It's
cycle.
yeah.
That's the jacket situation and the paint.
Yeah, because
brand acquisitions.
and they removes the boots, so he's like barefoot.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he was like haggard, like and clean shaven, because he was in a tussle with other him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the end of my actual thoughts.
Alrighty then.
Apparently, it was like a limited loop because it only lasted like 3 times, maybe twice.
Could be still looping right now for all we know.
Yeah.
There's constantly bringing in narrativans.
Yeah. Narrator.
How many twins do you have?
Quadruplets.
So, the only actual thought I have left, actually, is, I figured you guys wouldn't get this just because it's, something that I picked up earlier. So, after they get the pizza at the crossroads, the quote is, "On our way back to the house, I could swear I saw 2 people entering the denser part of the woods. The one part where you can't see anything but trees and leaves." So you had to explain what the dense part of the woods are, but I had to look up what precocious means. It's weird how, like, mundane that is, but it's described just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
But precocious, I had to look up.
He's a rich kid. He's fancy.
Everyone should know what precocious is.
I mean,
It'd be precocious to not know about it.
yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Precocious almost sounds like it's an insult, though.
It really isn't, though.
Oh, I know. I mean, the wording of it sounds like an insult.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got left.
Really? Okay.
Everything else has been talked about, and I
fair.
chimed in and everything.
You realize we have like a 40-20, like in terms of like our time. I just looked at it. It's got 40 minutes of grammar acquisition, 20 minutes of actual thoughts.
Wonder why, Mr. Page and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on to final thoughts. It's got a lot of little typos and errors. Words! Words! I love that.
Yeah.
That could easily be fixed. That said, I really like the story for its characters, like, for the character writing. Like, it kind of has a charm and a bizarro, like, kind of a charm to it, like the character writing. Mm-hmm. And the bizarro, creepy encounter, like, was really enjoyable. Like, it was... There's creepiness to it, but it's more of a weird, like, fun, like, creepypasta than a serious creepypasta. But at the same time, it also kind of like when that revelation hits you, it's like, what the fuck was going on in that woods?
If it hits you.
If it hits you, it's okay.
I took it the mundane route.
I like Narratorman's narrating style in this one. Like again, like the whole like I don't know how I should finish this, how I should start this, and let's just segue from my family kind of thing. Now it kind of felt like the writing itself had a character to it.
Yeah,
and you don't often see that even when the character is supposedly writing this down for somebody to read. Mm-hmm. I liked the start with the eccentric and somewhat broken family dynamic, and then the weirdness in the forest just added to the fun of it for me. So, aside from a round of grammatical editing, I recommend. Like, yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this cycle.
So, when we first meet other Jeremy...
Yes.
I was honestly thinking it was a skinwalker.
I too thought that.
Me too. I know.
But because it didn't say anything.
Or not Skinwalker, Fleshgate.
Fleshgate, yeah. It didn't say anything, so it was like, that's very typical of a skinwalker.
Yeah.
Fleshgate, yeah.
Yeah, that thing that is your brother but isn't your brother.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my issue with the revelation is that I feel the story should have either ended a paragraph sooner or should have explained how the police found him beaten to a bloody pulp in the forest because
That's the
he beat himself to a bloody pulp.
That's the other thing.
He's not, though. The one that gets killed is the end of that one cycle.
And so, like, that's the other thing we realized, like, how long has the cycle been going on? Like, did it just start, like, with those first two? Like, with Narratorman going in the woods and then Narratorman going in there.
No, because that one... no, there has to be one before him because he's burned.
But he doesn't see a dead body at the campsite.
It's not said what's done with the dead body.
That's true. Like, does it just vanish after it dies, or does it like yeah? That's
it. Also doesn't say like Narratorman never is just sitting there with no shirt on, or sorry, with the jacket.
He was. Jacket? He was actually
But he never just sat there and then had a not Jeremy show up and attack him. You understand? Because like he showed up going because his mouth is fucked up, and then fought him. And then that person killed him, but that never happened on his perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's supposed to be a complete cycle.
Yeah, because it's cycling, But then, like, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like,
it's not like
is there just like a pile of dead Narratormans like in the woods somewhere, or do they just vanish after they die because the cycle restarts? And then, like, why did this Narratorman? Like, as soon as the flashlight happened and he blacks out, why was he suddenly just found in the woods, like near the road, and found by police and stuff like that?
He blacked out because he didn't know what happened. So at that point, the cycle took over. I guess.
But like, how long?
Which just involved him running up, punching him, and running away and disappearing. Because he said that earlier he was blacking out and hugging trees and God knows what.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, like, no, like he blacks out, like, and then is found by cops. When the light, when the next him shines a flashlight on him, or does he actually get like socked by a flashlight?
He blacked out.
It doesn't quite like it does.
Also, that doesn't have to be the one time that Narratorman actually saw not Jeremy.
That's true. Yeah.
It could be that's the second time someone saw him with a flashlight when he actually passed out and got taken away.
Yeah.
But previously, that happened during one of his blackouts.
Maybe, yeah.
Where his body was just taking over and he had no control over himself. Hence why he was attacking himself. But although he attacked himself later, so it's confusing.
It's a paradox.
Yeah.
Time Watch would have a field day with this anomaly.
Well, I'd be happier with him waking up with bruises like, why do I feel like somebody beat the crap out of me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If he'd actually like woken up in the woods next to a fire that had like died out, like that would have, and like so he didn't actually kill himself, the other him.
Mm-hmm. But there's no cycle if he doesn't do it.
Well, no, it's not actually like he thinks he's dead, but he's actually just like near death basically, and then wakes up in the morning.
Yeah, because that's the end of the cycle.
Yeah, because that's where the cycle ends, and then he goes off to start the cycle anew.
I figured it'd be better if like he beats the shit out of him to death or whatever, and then he needs to take a break, but he doesn't want the body to be there, so he just rolls the body into the bush and sits down, and then when the body's out of sight, it disappears because that's the other Jeremy coming in.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Or the other Narratorman coming in. And then he's sitting down there being like, fuck. And then Jeremy comes down and another one. I killed you.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, well, that might actually be what it is. Like that's
at that point he dies.
Yeah, and then he wakes up, and then the next one wakes up at the road, or is discovered by cops, like, later on. So, like, how many times did that cycle go on for? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And which one was the real Jeremy, or which one was the real Narratorman the whole time?
Yeah, you keep mixing up the names. I wish he had a name.
I really do too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the cycle used a time loop, and that's sometimes really complicated.
Yeah.
Especially how do you escape a time loop, and how do you break the time loop without, like, because the situation continued like exactly how it was. Like,
yeah.
The way I would see it is just like the cycle keeps continuing until someone stumbles across it.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe, like, that's why, like, when the cops, or when Jeremy, like, contacted the cops or something like that, that's when the cops found Nair, and that's why, yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's odd.
Yes. And this entire thing is just a joke put on by Jeremy. He's contacted some, like, eldritch horror.
Yeah, so he's actually a time cultist.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And he's putting his brother through this.
Time cult! Sorry.
You're gonna call them names. Yes. Cool.
He actually has a strap-on neck beard.
Yeah, totally.
That just totally comes off.
Okay.
Remove his face warmer, nurse. So South Park reference.
All right. So, brass tacks.
It's a partial recommendation from me.
It's fair.
Cool. I said most of my final thoughts with your final thoughts as well, because we seem to both be converging on the whole loot weirdness situation. Mm-hmm. I saw it as the mundane situation first, and in that regard, it's like, okay, humanity's fucked up. Yeah, we can do some weird things, whatever. I wasn't really that into it, but
and then the revelation,
it's like, oh, okay, there's something going on. But I almost because the way that Jeremy seems to be, I kind of wish he would drop at least a hint of I did this because haha. Or something.
But no, Jeremy wasn't he wasn't the thing is Jeremy isn't involved in this at all. It was just Nair.
Is he not?
Well,
Jeremy disappeared and then Nair went
because he went on a ski. I think it would be actually more kind of breaking the mold if Jeremy was actually I just went for a ski dip ride or a ski dipping trip and you didn't show up and then I went to look for you and you weren't around. If it was actually just it's like
there's just
it's like a nature walk where you think something creepy is about to happen and then they fucking creep block you.
Yeah. So there's just some weird time-based monster in the forest,
or just a weird anomaly in the it doesn't even have to be a monster. It could just be some kind of phenomena in the forest.
We all know what it is. It's the effect of the vine.
Yes,
of course that's true. Yes.
All hail the vine. All hail. I've apparently been inducted into the vine cult.
Yeah. Well, you're affected by it. So.
Yes.
Understandable. But yeah, with the realization that there is a cycle in this cycle thing.
Yeah, so it actually makes sense.
Yeah. I was like, he didn't even bicycle over there. He took a car. Where's the cycle in this?
Gamer, thank you for being on the show.
I'm here for being the idiot of the group.
Being the layman.
Yeah.
You're not an
That's
idiot.
That's the nice way to say it.
You're not an idiot. You're a layman.
Okay.
You're a straight man.
Okay. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But yeah, with the revelation, it did make it better. It made it more of a creepypasta, and I dug it. I just wish that the cycle was more complete.
Yeah. The problem is it's really hard to do time travel-y stories because
I suggested how to do it.
But I mean, when a lot of people, we're brainstorming now because we're trying to figure out how to fix it. But when you're writing that, when you're alone and writing it and some of that, you don't always think about all the implications.
Honestly, though, right here is the way that you can loop it forever.
Yeah,
he gets to the end. He beats him to death.
Yeah,
rolls him into the bush where he came from.
Yeah,
sits down. And then he comes up going, Jeremy, and then it's like, oh crap, I thought I killed you. And then he kills him, rolls him into the bush, gets up, Jeremy, oh, I think I killed you. And that just keeps going forever. But yeah. Overall, it was okay prior, but it's a lot better with.
Yeah.
I didn't catch all of the words that you did. But,
again,
a lot of those words made it hilarious, though. If it was actually read, assuming those in the correct tense that they're said, he fell into the ground and
tapped into the door. It's like, oh god, my door!
Yeah, I kind of want to do another reading of this of just all the weird shit that's actually happening in that situation. But yeah, I will recommend it though because it was fun to go through. Like you said, I like the characters, although some of them were unnecessary, like his sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, it was really just flavor text for the family's weirdness.
That being said, I'm fine with that. I kind of wish Nair had a name.
Yeah, everyone else got a name except for
Nairman.
Yeah. Oh, actually, did the sister get a name?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So
Alex, I think it was.
Yeah. Okay, so she got a name. The mom got a name. The dad got a name. Jeremy got a name. Narratorman is just Narratorman.
He's telling stories, not.
I guess if you want, you can call him
Jeremy,
Mr. Graves.
Technically,
Mr. Graves is the guy who posted on creepypasta.wiki.
Technically, the pizza guy didn't get a name.
I revoke my recommendations. No.
Yeah, that's true. It's a terrible story now. That guy needs a name.
Pizza Man.
Yeah. This is the second stop on the delivery creepypasta we did earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Or that's a sign that it was the pizza man all along.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so bottom line, we all recommend it in some varying degree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that was this week's episode. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr. We're on all those platforms out there. Just like we're on Twitter. So if you'd like to talk to us there, Mikey is at the E stands for evil. Gamer in Yellow is at the Gamer in Yellow, but without the W because they've taken the last character he needed to complete
that sign. Yeah.
And I'm, of course, at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails. Go to aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com, where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. If you'd like to help support the show, you can become a patron. Look up Al Dente Rigamortis on Patreon and select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have $2 and $5 tier with special episodes, extra content, early access to episodes. There you go.
And other things.
Yes. For those patrons that are helping support the show already, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay, and we very much appreciate that. And to our normal listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely too, because seriously, without you guys, we really wouldn't have much of a show. So thank you. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. E stands for evil.
And I'm the Gamer in Yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well. And welcome to the Al Dente Rigamortis. That kind of sounded really good, actually, for a second.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hello. Just really subdued, just like...
It's very that guy with the glasses.
That's it.
Kind of become British.
Hi, guys. This is Al Dente Rigamortis.
Let's go. You guys having a good day?
It's time to creep pasta and chill. No. Number 15. Sorry.
You're obsessed with that guy.
Yes.
You have a problem.
Yes.
At least you can accept it.
Mm-hmm.
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 At least you can accept it.